Hi guys, it's me Faye here at Faye Dusk, and I am doing another video for my Back to Basics series. And in this video, this is quite a popular video that I've been asked the question about by a few different people on my Facebook page. So without further ado, as they say, I'm going to be talking about how to choose a magical name, or when you know that magical name's right for you, or when a magical name chooses you. So, yeah, so as you can tell, I haven't quite worked out a title, but obviously by the time you see this, I would have done. So my story on my magical name, I did a video on here not so long ago. If I remember when I post this up, I'll post a link to it, about when I decided that I wanted to go by Faye on this channel, and I did a little talk about that. So if I remember, I'll post a link to that below. But I personally, I don't even know why I started that sentence then. I was like, I personally, and I was just thinking, that's not what I want to say. So weird. But no, so I go by Faye on this channel, and I don't know, I feel really, really attached to that name. I don't know why, I feel a really strong connection to it. Obviously I spell it F-A-E, like Faye as in fairy, and it's part of my YouTube channel name anyway. And then obviously Dusk is my magical name. Another one that's a recent addition as well is Butterfly. So and obviously I use Butterfly Dusk for for my UK Pagans and Witches page, and I feel a strong connection to that as well. And I find it quite interesting that Dusk is obviously my magical name, and I'll say about that in a minute, that I've had for years now, and that Faye and Butterfly are both recent additions that I either use by themselves or I add on to Dusk, and also that they are, as you know, my two biggest loves or passions. So I do find that really interesting, in a nice way. And that's another really important point, in case I forget now I'm on that topic, that you can have more than one magical name. I know I always thought, when I was younger and stuff, I had to have one magical name. But for some people, they do just have one magical name because that's the only name that they feel drawn to or whatever, and that's just their magical name, and that's it, and that's cool. But for some people, for other people, they feel drawn to a few different names, they feel connection maybe for different reasons, and they use those names. And it's fine to have more than one magical name. Just like in life, it's fine to be more than one thing. You don't have to label yourself as just one thing, if you get what I mean. So yeah, to say more, I'll tell you more about my magical name, how I came to Dusk eventually, is when I first started in the craft, when I was just before I was 13, so for the few months, and then 13 I was obviously my then best friend Siobhan, when I was discovering the craft, obviously it said about having a magical name to differentiate your magical life and your mundane life, which I really, really like that sort of view. I know some people don't, and they like to just use the name that they're given, but personally I prefer having that sort of distinction. And it's nice as well because it's a name that you've chosen yourself, that you feel that you know yourself and what you feel describes you, as opposed to a name that you were given by your parents at your birth or whatever. So so I was sort of thinking in my head, what can my name be? And I really liked the name Willow. And at the time, this was when Buffy was still on TV, so this gives you an idea how long ago this was. And I was getting into the Buffy series and a really big fan of Willow in the show, and she was a witch as well, and I thought she was really cool. So I had Willow for a while, and I quite liked Willow, but I didn't really feel that it resonated with me. I felt like I just chose the name based on a character in a show, and that I liked her as opposed to and what I imagined the name to be, as opposed to the name fitting me, if that makes sense. And yeah, so I stuck with that for a little while, and then I came across the name Starflake. I can't even remember how I came across it really. I know it was sort of like winter time, so I think I must have been thinking about wintry themes. And I really like the name Starflake, and I added it to Willow, so I had Willow Starflake, and I really liked that for quite a while, and so I stuck with that for probably a year, maybe a year or so, and then I stepped away from that altogether. I was probably about 15 maybe. Yeah, it just didn't feel right for me, and I was still trying to look for another magical name, and I just couldn't find anything that I really, really, really liked. And it was really, I don't know, for me personally, it was affecting my practice, because I felt like that I didn't have this necessary connection, because I didn't have this name. And yeah, and then I really liked the name Aurora, of like Sleeping Beauty. Obviously Aurora, the princess in Sleeping Beauty, and that was one of my favourite Disney movies growing up, and I really, really liked the name Aurora. And I remember saying to my friend Siobhan about it, like, that I think this will be my new magical name, and she said that she felt it didn't suit me, and I was a bit like, hurt. I mean, I was really glad that, like, she was honest and stuff, but I, like, taken ages, like, trying to come up with a name, and she was just like, I don't think it suits you. And I was just like, oh, no. What am I gonna do? And so, literally, like, I just kept flitting between different names, never really settling on anything. And then I remember, I think I was about 15 or 16, randomly in an afternoon or on a weekend, there was a Scooby-Doo, like the cartoon version, one of the movies on TV, and I can't remember the title of the movie. It was Witch something, so I think that's why I was like wanted to watch it. And one of the witches in it, she was like, I remember that she was good. And her name was Dusk, and then suddenly I heard the name Dusk, and I was just like, oh my god, like, Dusk, like, that's it, Dusk. And literally, like, that became my new magical name, and literally from that point, like, that's been it, that's been Dusk. So literally for the last, like, 10 years, it's been Dusk, and then obviously, like I've said, I have my recent additions to that name, but I don't know, it was like a light bulb moment gone off in my head, and I was just like, oh my god, that's my name, Dusk. Like, that's my magical name. And that's how you know, I personally believe that's how you know when you found the right magical name for you, is that it feels almost like an epiphany. You think, oh my god, that's my name. Like, I can't imagine it being anything else now. That's what my magical name is. And obviously, like, Dusk was for me, and yeah, I mean, there's loads of, in books and on the internet and YouTube and whatever, loads of like spells and rituals and things like that you can do to help you find your magical name. But I'd personally suggest that doing soul searching is the best way that you're gonna find your magical name, and also that it's not just necessarily just gonna happen like straight overnight sort of thing. Like, sometimes it may take time, it may take a couple of years, but just literally just to keep, I don't know, just to keep thinking of different names, and like names that you like, and even names that you've not thought of before. Sorry, the hair on my leg is making me itch. And even not names that you thought of before, and just see if you can if they feel like they fit you, like you feel that you have like a bond or a connection with that name. And also, like, it can be anything in the world. Like, obviously it's you, and it's got to be personal and what's right for you. It can be, I don't know, like, name of, you could research different names of like goddesses or or fairy queens or gods, or even names like from a different language or anything. It could literally just be anything, like anything in the world. The whole point is to broaden your mind, to just think outside the box, I suppose. It could be anything. So basically the most important thing is I know that it's really frustrating, because like I was there, like not in your case obviously, but like for me, I know like what it's like and how annoying it is. But the most important thing I can say is just like hang in there and just don't like, try not to like stress too much and let it like take over your life. Obviously you just need to sort, even, and plus also another thing that I want to say as well, like I've changed magical names. When you've come up with a magical name, and especially when you're first starting in the craft, that's the magical name you use. If you want to change it or feel the need to change it because you feel it's not right for you, like it doesn't matter, like you're not stuck with that for the rest of your life, if that makes sense. Like you can change it, like it's your choice, it's up to you, sort of thing. So don't worry as well that you're coming up with a magical name and you found one and then you think, well, what happens like if I don't like it in 6 months down the line? Like, you can change it doesn't matter, like change it as many times as you want till you find what's right for you. So also as well, you find a name or a few names that you really like and you want to see if they fit, trial them for a little while, like write in your book of shadows or your like journal or grimoire and sign off like with that name. Yeah, just like try it and see what you think. Or if you want to create like a YouTube account or a Facebook account, like try using that name, because on things like that you can edit it anyway and change your name, so you haven't got to create a whole new account. So just try it and see if you like it. Like, or if you create a YouTube channel and you make videos or whatever and you want to use your magical name, or even if you don't make videos and you watch other people's and you want to change the name of your channel, try it. And if you don't like it, then just change it. Basically, it's flexible, it's not rigid and set in stone. So if you want to change it, then change it. But yeah, no, so I hope that this was helpful to you. I feel like I rambled a bit more than I intended to. But yeah, so feel free to comment below, and if I remember, remind me if I forget to post a link to that other video that I did a little while ago in the description bar. And I hope that it's answered any questions that you have regarding a magical name, and like how to find one and how I came across my magical name. And yeah, so let me know what you think. Let me know what your magical name is below and how you came across your magical name. Or if you don't use a magical name, you don't like using a magical name, like why, I'd be really interested to know, sort of thing. So yeah, so until next time, I'll see you very soon.